That was 1 year ago, the earthquake that struck Utah. We were so fortunate that no one was killed and there were no serious injuries. However, some of the older buildings in downtown Salt Lake City were left in very dangerous condition.
Fox 13's Spencer Joseph is live at the Salt Lake City Rescue Mission this afternoon, where he was 1 year ago today. Spencer.
Yeah, and the building 1 year ago today actually didn't look as bad as the one right next door to it, but once they got more on the inside, they found a lot more damage, and the executive director tells me it was a long road to get them back to code and rebuilding to make sure their building was safe to live in. The morning of March 18th, 2020 was a big cleanup on the corner of 400 West and 500 South, where two buildings sit, one of which is the Salt Lake Rescue Mission.
Originally, we thought there was no damage to our building, and then as we looked further internally, externally of the building, we saw that the external brickwork had the bricks had fallen out of the building. It was very much more than we had initially just visually were able to see.
The other building right next door is nearly 100 years old. A part of its facade collapsed onto the sidewalk with the shaking. While that building was vacant at the time, the rescue mission had a problem on their hands.
Our neighbor's building was obvious what their damage was, and ours was less obvious.
So inspectors were called out right away.
Within their priorities, there were a couple of places a higher priority than the rescue mission that day.
What they found was the damage was extensive and would need 2 months of repair. So then came the task of finding a place to house individuals. They contacted the city and the county, and that night they were able to move to a rec center in South Jordan.
Given a terrible situation of being displaced and our homeless friends displaced out of the rescue mission, those relationships and partnerships were enabled us to not miss a day of service.
The mission was able to move back into their building in May, and it was the start of a tough year, with the pandemic also being a hardship. But for Crosswhite, he thanked his staff and all those around the city who stepped up and helped.
It's absolutely amazing to see the commitment level that our frontline workers have to help our homeless friends. Not just seek shelter every day, not just have a meal and a day room every day, but to permanently leave their life on the street.
He also thanked all of those that donated to the rescue mission to get them back into their building as quickly as possible. Live in downtown Salt Lake, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.